Now, I'm a life coach. I've trained, I've taught. I also work here at Mind Valley. I'm in charge of product development, and I'm into lots of woo-woo stuff, like crazy woo-woo shit, okay? And so what I'm going to share with you tonight is my most favorite little technique. It's a simple little tool, and you can use it whenever you want. And I'm going to teach it to you so that you can even do it in public, and people won't know you're doing that woo-woo shit, okay? And what this is meant to do is this is going to help you integrate everything that you've heard tonight into your body. It's going to help you sort the information that you've received in a way so that you can actually put it into your cells and walk forward embodying the information that you've received and the person that you want to be. Does that sound good? Yes. Yeah, okay. So it's going to require two things from you. Don't worry, they're not too hard. The first thing is that you've got to participate. Okay, now I'm from Virginia in the US, and yeah, every once in a while I twang, right? When I get real nervous or real excited. Okay, so this is how we know we're paying attention in the US. Okay, so I say something and then you're going to say something back. This is how it's going to go. I'm going to say holla, and y'all are going to say yeah. You think you can do that? All right, let's give it a practice round, okay? We're going to do it 3 times. I'm going to say holla. Yeah. Holla. Yeah. Holla. Yeah. I don't think that was good enough. I mean, are you here? Hello, people. It's Friday night. Come on. All right. Let's do it one more time. 3 times. Ready? Holla. Yeah. Holla. Yeah. Holla. Yeah. Now we're talking. All right. Now I know you're paying attention. Okay. So here's the second thing that I'm going to ask of you tonight. Now, before I ask this of you, I'm going to just say that some people think that they've lost this skill. Some people think that when you grow up and you become a grown-up, then you can't do this anymore. Okay? But I believe that because you're here, that you have this skill. I also believe that all people have this skill, and they just forget that they already know how to do it, and that you do it every single day. I'm going to ask you to use your imagination. What? Do you remember what that is? I mean, I'm not talking about like, you know, when you were a little kid and you like to play pretend, and you pretend there's a whole fairyland. See, when you're a kid, you can live in an entire world of make-believe for hours. And sometimes it's inspired by TV, and sometimes, you know, it's inspired by all kinds of things. But there was a moment in your youth where your daydreams felt like reality. Holla? Yeah! Okay. So what I'm going to ask of you tonight is just to pretend for just a little while that you have an imagination. Do you think that you can pretend that you have an imagination? Holla! Yeah! All right. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to create the most ultimate version of you. And I'm telling you this because if you do not feel like the most ultimate version of you all of the time, you're not living completely congruently with the most ultimate version of you. And there is a very simple thing that you can do to actually step into all the skills and resources that you need to be the most ultimate you. So that's why tonight's talk, my talk is called Becoming Superwoman or Superman for some of you that are here. Because what I'm going to teach you is how to take the skills that you want and apply them in the situation where you need them. So when you think about someone in your life that you think is like a superwoman or a superman, what are some of the characteristics that they embody? How do they seem to you? What do they look like? Hot? What else? You. Me? Okay, so what is it about me that you think embodies that? My legs. Okay? Hot legs. long legs. Long legs. Okay. All right, what else? What does someone who is their ultimate self, what do they sound like? Confident. What else? Smart. Decisive. Positive. What else?
Full of courage.
Courage. Cool. They smile. What else? Strong. What else? Energetic. Influential.
Humility.
They have humility. Charisma. What else? Positive. Jumpy. Okay. Does this look like a decent list for now?
Yep.
Okay. So the thing is that somewhere in your life, somewhere along the road, there were times when things were happening and maybe it's beyond your control. And so, like for me, I remember I used to have this really long bus ride to school in the morning because I lived way out in the sticks with the Hicks, where everyone says y'all. And, you know, it was not a fun bus ride, an hour and a half each way. And I'm talking like bullies and people spitting on each other and fighting and sometimes people clapping and dancing and all kinds of stuff was going on. And there were times when there was stuff that bullies or fights that would happen, and I remember sitting there daydreaming out the window thinking, if only I had superpowers. I could control all of this. I mean, seriously, there are times when you really wish, if only I had that. If only I had the confidence to speak up when I have a good idea. If only I had the discipline to stick with my healthy habits, right? All night you've heard this incredible advice of basically the endurance that it's taken for people to achieve what they want. But if you look at this list, except for maybe long legs, how much of this is something that somewhere in your life, in the good times, you already have? Somewhere in your life, there are times when you do something and it feels really good. Yeah. Holla! Yeah. Sometimes you have all the confidence that you need. You're not at any lack for confidence. You're not at any lack for endurance or influence or positivity at certain times in your life, when you're having fun with your friends, when you're relaxing. So why is it at these other times in our lives when we're feeling like we have struggle, maybe at work or in our relationships or in ourselves with our own internal chatter, that we can't access that same stuff? Well, it's because we just need to make a little link in the brain. That's what we're going to do. So this is the part where you get to use your imagination. So I'd like for you all to just take a deep breath with me. Ready? Inhale slowly. Nice. And slowly exhale. That's good. Because I'm going to ask you to also just take a moment and just gently relax. Because this next part of the exercise is your own personal journey. And you can do this with your eyes open or with your eyes closed. Now, everyone here is doing this, and you promised me you were going to use your imagination. You were going to pretend at least. So all I ask of you is to pretend to do this exercise with me, okay? Everyone's facing the same direction. No one can see you anyway. All right. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to pretend that somewhere out in front of you, you can actually see yourself. You could pretend it's on the movie screen, you could pretend it's up here, but somewhere out in front of you, with your eyes opened or closed, pretend that you can see yourself. Now, this version of you is going to be the most ultimate you. This version of you is in your imagination, so you can have superhuman powers if you want to. This version of you can do or be or say anything that you want it to say or do or to be. So just for a moment, pretend that you can notice what this version of you is wearing. What do they have on? Are you hot and high-powered? Are you chilled and relaxed? Notice if it's in color. And if it is, how bright are the colors? The next thing I want you to notice is I want you to notice how this version of you feels. Does this version of you have a warm, soft glow and feels really confident? Is the ultimate version of you relaxed? Is the ultimate version of you positive or courageous, charismatic, influential, strong and energetic? Just pretend for a moment that you can inject this version of you with whatever you want. Now, looking at this version of you, what does this version of you sound like? What types of things does this person say? What kind of things do they say to other people, and what kinds of things are they saying to themselves? And the last thing you're going to infuse this person with is a wisdom of nugget that you've heard so far tonight. Now, you're always going to be able to add to this later because more good stuff is ahead, as always in life. But think about what you've heard tonight, what sounded good, what you want to keep, and what's maybe on the shelf to think about later. And just imagine that this version of you has access to all of that information. Okay, by now, this person should be looking real good. Very attractive. So attractive that you want it to just start coming closer to you. Closer and bigger. This person starts to come toward you. It's probably someone you really want to get to know. So in just a moment, this person is going to be standing so close to you, you can feel their breath on your body. This version of you is looking right back at you. And now, if you would, safely, please stand up. And if you can safely, because I know it's crowded in here, just get a sense of that ultimate you. And notice that they may be a little bit taller or a little bit, sexier, but it's you. And in a moment, I want you to just take one step and slip right on into that ultimate you as if you were putting on a superhero suit. You're just stepping right on into it like a glove. So on the count of 3, you're going to take that step. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Everybody holla! Yeah! All right, now, just take one moment and appreciate the way that you feel. Let your cells adjust to the vibration of the new you. Look through the eyes of the ultimate you and feel the way that the ultimate you feels. You're pretending, remember? It's really not that hard. It's actually pretty easy to just pretend for a moment that you can feel exactly the way the ultimate you feels. And you breathe like they breathe, and you think like they think, and you know what? You realize that you're already there. And sometimes we just forget to put on this version of ourselves. And so sometimes if you're feeling a little bit like, I don't feel like being the ultimate you today, I feel like being lazy. Well, then when you want to be the ultimate you, all you have to do is remember this moment. Access the ultimate you and step into them like a glove. No one will know what you're doing. But all of a sudden, I promise you, they will notice a change. So tonight, if you want to leave your ultimate you on, I encourage you and invite you to do so. And if you want to save it for later, you can always step back out and put it in your pocket for another time. Okay, everyone, please sit down. Thank you so much for taking that journey with me. I love this little technique, and I hope that if you found it useful, that you'll take it with you wherever you go. And in closing, I just want to reiterate that whatever it is you're looking for, it may seem like it's somewhere out there. You know, that like if that person was just different, then, you know, everything would be okay. And if this situation was just different, if I was somewhere else, or if everything could just be different, then I'll be okay. But hopefully tonight, if there's one thing you took from this, you realize that everything you need is already inside of you. It's somewhere in your life. If it's confidence you need, it's somewhere. You just got to borrow it from wherever that is and take it with you wherever you go. So, on that, hopefully you enjoyed tonight. Holla! Yeah! Thank you so much.